Hello everyone, so today we're going to be taking a look at the 2016 Range Rover Sport. And special thanks to McGinley Motors, Mazda, Land Rover, Peugeot and Volvo for allowing me to come down here and review this car for you guys today. For all contact information in regards to this dealership, please see the description box below. So in today's review, we'll be taking a look at the interior of the car. I explain how all the features work. We'll also start up, look at the engine, go over the performance data, take a look around the exterior. I'm also going to take the car on a detailed test drive. So I got the traditional style Land Rover key fob with this button here for turning on the exterior lights. And once you unlock the vehicle, the mirrors power fold out and the LED running daylights turn on. So this particular Range Rover Sport is the mid-range HSE, which is the best selling. It comes with all my bi-xenon projector headlamps standard, as you can see there, with the signature LED running daylights as well as LED front fog lamps. And as you can see in design, it has changed completely from its predecessor. It also weighs a good bit less than its predecessor thanks to an aluminium construction. It also comes with these 20-inch alloy wheels as standard, on Pirelli tyres with 4-wheel ventilated steel disc brakes as well as 4-wheel independent suspension. One very nice styling feature the Range Rover Sport comes with is these artificial heat extractors. Now it would be cool if they were actually functional. All Land Rover would have to do is cut out the holes in the bonnet and then these would extract the heat. But unfortunately they are here for styling purposes, but they do look very nice. Very nice silver design, and also you got the Range Rover name written across there. And also you got a similar kind of thing going on down here on the front wing. So this mid-range HSE, everything on it is basically standard. The only optional feature in this car is the Santorini black metallic paint. But other than that, everything I'm about to show you in this review today is a standard feature. And coming around to the rear, it's got very nicely designed LED tail lights with LED indicators. And of course you just got the model designation there. And you also got your rear parking sensors as well as dual polished exhaust tips. And the reversing camera as well. Don't know how well you can see in the sunlight, it's located right here. Another clever thing with the Range Rover, this also is a feature on the very big Range Rover, the normal one. The rear windscreen wiper isn't actually very visible because it hides up here underneath the spoiler. So it's very discreetly and well designed. So let's take a look at the boot. Let's press this button here. And it's got an automatic tailgate. So as you can see, the boot space in the Range Rover Sport is excellent. It's very big. I'm actually just going to caption in the exact dimensions on the bottom right hand side of the screen there. But you got little things back here like this removable cargo cover. You also got your 12-volt power outlet as well as a little hook here for any bags you want to hang on it. And there's a little cutout here for extra space. And you also got these 4 chrome hooks located around the boot. So you got one here as well as one on the top. And the same on the other side, just if you need to strap down any large items. And also underneath the boot floor itself, you got a full-size spare alloy wheel. And if we just come around to the back seat area of the car, I'll show you how to fold down the seats. So you got a handle here, you just pull that, and the seat folds down. Now as you see, it doesn't go down completely flat, and the seat base doesn't fold either. But if we just come around to the boot again, you can see it does open up a decent amount of extra room should you need to slide any very large items towards the back seat area. But other than that, the actual boot space itself is very, very good in size. And then to fold it down again, just push the button. Okay, so let's go ahead and check out the back seat area of the car. So this Range Rover Sport has been finished with the ebony and ivory leather. Looks very, very nice. Certainly brightens up the interior that little bit more, having this very nice ivory. Electric window switch, of course. You also got central locking controls located there as well. And the seats are perforated too. You also got mat pockets on the back of each front seat. And of course, as you can see here, there is a lot of legroom and headroom in this car. Range Rovers of course are known for being very spacious vehicles. And also located down here, which is standard on the HSE, you got 3-stage heated seats for the left and right sides of course, as well as ventilation, and a little rubber area up here just for storage. And there's also another one down here, although it doesn't have any padding. You also got one more located down here, as well as a 12-volt power outlet located off to the left. And because the transmission tunnel sits down very low, it's actually very easy to sit in the center of the car. There's hardly any transmission tunnel there at all. So it really is a very spacious car for everybody. Also, another thing worth noting as well, down at the bottom of the car, this part here is finished in plastic. So if you're taking the car off-road, it means that you won't damage the paintwork. So this here plastic is probably handy enough to replace, but trying to replace or fix the paintwork could be very costly. And you also got your LED indicators on the exterior mirrors. So another thing I just want to show you guys, if we look at the window here, there's 2 layers of glass, so that means that when you're driving along the road, there really shouldn't be much exterior noise getting into the vehicle. And you also got your 4 one-touch automatic windows, as well as your exterior mirror controls, which also have a power folding feature as well. And you also got a full electric driver's seat. And over here you've got your electronic boot release as well. This car also has an electric steering column. Okay, so we'll just turn off the fog lights, put the lights back into automatic, and turn off the hazards. So it's got a 4-spoke leather-wrapped multifunction steering wheel with electric power assist. Very nice feedback. And also you got perforations located off to the left and the right sides of the steering wheel. And the interior of this car is pretty much the same as the big Range Rover Vogue I reviewed earlier in the year. So everything is very simple and easily laid out. You got your controls here for the phone and the voice command and your different modes for the radio. You also got your volume controls here, and then you can use these buttons to go through the trip computer screen located there in the center. So you can look at the trip computer, your display settings, vehicle information, and then you got the cruise control located off to the right, as well as your rain sensing windshield wipers, and the engine start stop button is located up there. And of course it's completely keyless, so I just leave this in my pocket. We can take a look around some of the features in the center console. So coming into the touch screen, now this is the same one that they use in the new Land Rover Discovery Sport and the Range Rover Evoque. So it's very easy to operate. You got all your touch sensitive commands. You got your home one, which we're in at the moment. You got your settings, parking sensors. You can also pull up your rear view camera if you wish. And if I go into mode, that actually activates the radio if you don't have it on already. The sound quality is very good. So mode selects between things like the CD player, it actually highlights up here, AM and FM, auxiliary, USB, and so on and so forth. So actually if I just go into that and get the radio back, just click radio there on the top left. And then you got things here, this is your media I believe. I wonder if the screen will change. No, it won't change actually, because you have to have your phone Bluetooth to the system to navigate through your mobile phone's features. And you can actually pair your phone to the Bluetooth system by clicking this icon here on the right. And once you have your phone paired up, you can make your phone calls from here, and as I said, you can also go through your media. And then the bottom right feature is for your satellite navigation. It's got a very nice display and also has your current address as well. And if you go into nav menu, there's many features for you to go through, like points of interest, destination entry, previous destinations, and so on. So really the touchscreen unit is very easy to use, and if we go back into the home menu here and go to the very left, you got a few settings here for the audio. You can also turn the screen off and just tap it to turn it back on again. Your Take Me Home feature, so you can set up your address and then just click that and it'll bring you right back to your house. And of course you got your clock adjustment and iPod. And then in here you got your radio, your climate controls. If we go into that, you can just adjust everything. There's also manual controls located down here. And if we go down here, you got your Bluetooth again and your satellite navigation. And then on the last screen here, you got your 4x4 information. So it tells you things about the diffs and the terrain you're driving over. And if we go back to that screen again, you got your eco data, your automatic parking aid if you want to use it, and of course your rear backup camera as well. So as you can see, it's a very simple system. It's very easy to use as well, simple and easily laid out. And then located down here, of course, you've got your dual zone climate controls with very nice readouts here in the temperature screen. Looks very nice. And if I click the seats, you can turn on your seat heater from here, 3-stage heated fronts. And just cancel out of that. And you also got your little fan icon located down here as well. So down here you also got the 8-speed command shaft gearbox. Now with all modern day Range Rovers, any automatic one has the little dial that rises out of the center console, which is also in Jaguars. But for some reason with Range Rover Sport they decided to just keep the gear lever. It looks nice, I'm not actually complaining, it's a very nice gear lever. It's just something I noticed the other day when I was looking at this car. So to put it into park, you just press P, and as you can see we're in park at the moment, but there's a little trigger in the front here which you click, and you can go between reverse and neutral and drive. So if we push it all the way into reverse, your backup camera comes on, but only the guidance lines show up in reverse. And then down one for neutral, and then you got drive. If you push it over to the left, you can change gears manually, and then press P to put it back into park again. I should also mention paddle shifters are an optional extra on this as well. There are a lot of options on a Range Rover Sport, and paddle shifters is one of them. And then down here, of course, you got the terrain response. Now this here is one of the best off-road systems ever fitted to a production car, so it's probably one reason why Range Rovers are so expensive. So located off to the very far left, you got your normal road modes, and then all these little icons will highlight in orange. So if I just go into the screen here when I'm going through them, it says that I have selected grass, gravel and snow mode, so basically low grip, mud ruts, and the last one is sand. Now you can also get an automatic mode, that's another optional extra. Automatic will be written across here, and you push it in, and then the car will detect the terrain you're driving over and it will adjust itself between them modes accordingly. And also of course you got the hill descent as well. And then located down here, the last few features, you got your traction control, air ride suspension, as well as the start-stop system, and then you got the automatic speed limiter as well. You also have the electronic parking brake. And over here, you got your two integrated cup holders, and this here is also a 12-volt power outlet. You just pop that little cover out. You also got your leather center-mounted armrest with a good deep storage area, very nicely padded. You also got your auxiliary and USB, as well as another 12-volt power outlet. There's actually 3 center armrests in this car altogether, so you got your big one there, one for the passenger and one for the driver. So very nice and handy to have them. And of course this car has the auto dimming interior mirror, and to unlock the glove box, just press that button there. It's nicely padded. And also another little feature I noticed, when you put the book in, it actually hooks into this little piece here so it won't slide down. So overall, the interior of the Range Rover Sport is a very nice place to be, very comfortable, very luxurious and very well equipped. So we're going to go ahead now and take a look at the engine, and then we'll take the car on a detailed test drive. And the bonnet release is located on the passenger side footwell. The engine is a 3-litre TDV6 turbo diesel. It produces 254 brake horsepower with a top speed of 130 miles per hour. It also puts out 443 foot-pounds of torque, and it's estimated the Range Rover Sport can do about 38 miles to the gallon. Okay, so we're coming out to the dual carriageway. We'll just hop into the right lane here and see what it's like on power. Okay, foot down. good? Oh, it's very good. Wow. So my first impressions of driving Range Rover Sport, to be completely honest, it's just like driving a 3-litre turbo diesel sofa down the dual carriageway. It is so smooth and quiet. It's fantastic. And as I said earlier, it's got 2 layers of glass there, and you can certainly tell that they're doing their job because it is really quiet and peaceful in here. I really can't hear much ambient exterior noise, and it's just so comfortable. And when you put your foot down, you get the power. And the 8-speed command shift, you know, you can't question it. It's fantastic. Gear changes are very smooth and crisp. Wish I had these paddle shifters on the back. You know, that would have been cool. If I was buying one of these, I would definitely opt for the paddle shifters, just because they're more fun to use than the gear stick. Make you think you're in a race car or something when you use paddle shifters. But right now, my initial impressions are this thing is lovely to drive. It's smooth, it's quiet, it's comfortable. It feels like it competes with the likes of course, the BMW 7 Series and Mercedes S-Class. But of course, Range Rovers have always competed with cars of that type. The only difference is this thing can off-road. You can't off-road in the S-Class. But yeah, other things I must say, the interior, as you probably got the impression of when I was reviewing it earlier, I love the interior. It's simple, it's elegant, it's beautifully crafted, and everything in here is so nice and simple and easy to use. It's very well refined. Okay, so let's see about the power once more. Ooh, yeah, it's certainly got some pull behind it, that's for sure. So other things I should mention, the center mounted, the center headrest there for the center seat in the back, I do notice it can get in the way of your rear visibility just a little bit, but it's not actually a big deal, because if I just press this, my backup camera comes on and I can leave it on while I'm driving along, so it's handy to have. You know, I can see clearly what's behind me. A dark blue Audi A4 2016. I think I can even see his number plate actually. But it's very handy, of course, to have that reversing camera standard on a car like this. You can just pull it up whenever you want, so even if the rear window is a little obstructed by the likes of them headrests, it's not a big deal. You can just pop up that camera anytime you want. But apart from that, I mean, it's got a huge windscreen. You know, it's got excellent all-round visibility through them wing mirrors, for example. They're quite large. It's just a fantastic place to be. So we're just going to keep driving on out here, and we're going to go out to some back roads in just a moment, and we'll see what the ride quality is like out there. Okay, so we're just coming out to some of these back roads here, and I have to say the ride quality is fantastic. Now this car, of course, as you know, has an air suspension, and it just absorbs these bumps so well. You can barely feel the bumps in here, and it handles quite nicely as well. We're actually just going to come up to a left-hander here now, and I'm expecting a little bit of body roll because this is a very big 4x4, and no matter how good it is, you can't completely eliminate body roll. But just coming into this left-hander now, and there is just a little bit, but the Range Rover's got everything so well sorted out, and it's so comfortable as well. I mean, a lot of these bits I'm going over here, I've driven over in lots of different cars, and I could feel them more, but not in a Range Rover. You can barely feel anything out here. The one thing I will say, now this is kind of more directed at people who are not used to driving SUVs. You are aware that this is a very large car, especially when you drive like narrow roads like this. If you are coming out of something like, you know, a mid-range family saloon or even a hatchback, and you get into a large 4x4 like this, you may feel a little intimidated by it. But you know what, it's just a learning curve. I mean, I had to learn how to drive big SUVs as well from getting out of my little Astra. But you do get used to these things over a while. You just have to be observant, and you just have to remember that you're driving a very big 4x4. But you do get used to these things. They're really not so bad at all. And I think the last big 4x4 I drove was the Volvo XC90, which is funny enough because it's the one car you can actually compare to a Range Rover Sport. Okay, so we're just on our way back to McGinley Motors, and to summarize the Range Rover Sport, this is a fantastic car. I mean, it's everything you would expect from a Range Rover. It's beautifully designed, it's very well engineered, it's very well equipped. You got, you know, a magnificent V6 turbo diesel up front, which returns pretty good fuel economy. It's got plenty of power. You got your air ride suspension. It's got tons of space. It's got a very good amount of equipment on this mid-range HSE model, which, as I said earlier, is one of the best selling. So as I said, you know, you can compare this with the likes of the Mercedes S-Class, the BMW 7 Series, although I think realistically you're going to compare it with the Volvo XC90, which I reviewed just the other week. So overall, I love this thing. The starting price, I think, for a Range Rover Sport HSE is about €102,500, something like that. And once you put metallic paint on it, it comes up to about €103,750, which I believe is what I have this one priced at. But, you know, you don't even have to kit these things out with options. I mean, even this mid-range HSE model comes with tons of stuff as standard. You really don't need to put much else on it. If you do planning on off-roading one of these every once in a while, one option I might recommend is the wade sensing. Now, those are sensors that are located under the exterior mirrors, and they will tell you how deep the water is, and it will even warn you when it's getting too deep. So there will be a little red line coming up on a graph of the car in the center screen. So I think if you wander to about the headlights, if the water gets to about the headlights, I think that's too deep, and the car will of course warn you of that in good time. But apart from that, there's a ton of other features you can get. As I said, the paddle shifters, you can actually have the paddle shifters, I think, finished in brushed aluminium, or you can have them even finished in red, which personally is the one I would go for. But yeah, there's a lot of things you can put in these things, but realistically, this HSE comes with so much equipment as standard, I wouldn't even bother with many options. So guys, thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned, we've plenty more reviews to come. So I'll see you again next time.